I've been sitting on this for a while, and I finally decided it's time to showcase what I've been working on. I am also working on a few other decks, being my Dragon Link still. I'm kind of working on Salamangreats, and I'm working on Sky Strikers, waiting for a couple cards to be delivered, and then I should have a deck profile on that soon as well. First off, 3 Alistair the Invoker. Hopefully everyone knows what it does by now. If you normal summon it or flip it face up, you can add one invocation spell card from your. You can add one invocation from your deck to your hand. And quick effect can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and target one fusion monster you control. So not just an invoked monster, you can target your Shadoll fusions as well, and give it 1,000 attack. So that was obviously the only monsters for the invoked engine. Next we have the Shadolls, which is 3 Rush Shadoll and 1 Nail Shadoll. These are just the Shadolls from the new Shadoll stuff, from the structure deck, Shadoll Showdown. Obviously we have loads of the OG ones as well, but these are the ones from the structure deck, and they are really they're just crazy. Very good with a combo. Obviously Wendy sets one of your, it's sent to the grave via card effect. It sets one of your invoked monsters to the, not invoked, one of your Shadoll monsters from your deck to your field. In this combo as well with Rush Shadoll Reincarnation. Rush Shadoll Incarnation, which can banish itself and another Shadoll monster from the graveyard and flip a Shadoll monster face up. And Construct helps you get that engraved. While Aerial, if it's flip face up, you can summon one of your banished Shadoll monsters. So you probably want to banish Rush Shadoll and Construct, flip this up, and summon out the Construct again. Next to the OG Shadolls, we have 3 Squamata, 2 Beast, 2 Hedgehog. Not running Dragon in this build. I couldn't find 1 extra slot because I'm trying to go for 40 cards, not 41. Squamata is your Foolish Burial for your Shadolls. So if you have this in hand instead of Wendy, you can send Wendy off of it when you fusion someone into Construct. That way you still get your main combo. Beast is what you set off Wendy during your opponent's turn when you're making Winder. So if it's activated during your opponent's turn, if he attacks into it, or your turn when you flip it up straight away, you get to draw 2, discard 1, which can trigger your Shadoll's effects. And Hedgehog, which can add any Shadoll spell trap from the deck to the hand if it's flip face up, and if it's sent to the grave via card effect, it can add one Shadoll monster instead. Next with Perform Mages, we have 3 Damage Jugger, 1 Trick Crown, 1 Hat Tricker. People don't usually 1 Hat Tricker, but I've decided why not. Due to the fact that if you're going second, it's an easy way to make Boral Sword, or if you're going first, it can be used to help make Appaloosa. And obviously these are like your lights that you're going to use to fuse into Construct and Mechaba. Damage Juggler banish itself from the grave, so you can add any of these 2. So that's why I'm running 3, because if it's in your hand, you can fusion summon it off, so you can actually search one of these out. It's a very nice little light engine. And for the rest of the monsters, we have some Mech Knights, being 2 Blue Sky, 2 Nightfall, 2 Eclipse. These are very helpful. 1 as a light engine, and 2 as an OTK enabler. Because basically, if you didn't know, Mech Knights, if there's 2 cards in the column, special summon themselves from the hand, and then they can activate their effects if they wish. That's why Alistair and Almirage are so good. Because if you're going second, you open up Alistair and, like, let's say Indigo Eclipse and Nightfall, you're probably gonna get an easy Boral Sword there. Because you can normal summon Alistair, add Invocation, make Almirage, set Invocation next to underneath Almirage, then go Indigo Eclipse and Nightfall, and then just start get up to Boral Sword. So it's a very nice little special summon engine for your OTK. Or if you're going first and they end up in your hand, they can be used for light materials for Construct and Mechaba. Or if you're trying to go for Appaloosa on your first turn, These can really help as well, especially if you can get 2 cards in your column. So you can't really rely on your opponent. That's why it can be a pain in the ass to open up blue sky on turn 1. Especially with its effect to search due to how many cards are in your opponent's column. Onto the spells, we have 3 Magical Meltdown and 3 Invocation. Magical Meltdown searches out your Alistair the Invoker, so you can normal summon that and add Invocation. Invocation, fusion summon monster from your extra deck using monsters from only your hand. And I know that's a terrible effect, but if it's an invoked monster, you banish from your field or either player's graveyard. So it's a graveyarded Super Poly, which is very, very nice. Especially if it's helping you make your invoked. Especially because one of the main things at the moment is dark. One of the main, most represented attribute at the moment, I believe, is dark. So it helps you make Caliga. Or you are able to make Purgatrio if you're going against Salamangrates or any deck that plays fire monsters in the graveyard. Which, obviously, there's only, as far as I know, in the competitive scene at the moment, there is only Salamangrates, but they are starting to climb back up the competitive ladder, even after the ban of Murdercelio. They're doing very well at the moment. Next, onto the Shadoll spells. We have 3 Shadoll Fusion, 3 El Shadoll Fusion. Obviously, these are just your normal fusion spells. This is a poly, but only for Shadolls. And Shadoll Fusion, again, just a poly for Shadolls, but if your opponent controls an extra deck monster, you can use monsters from your deck as well. That's why Shadolls are such a good second OTK deck as well. Well, I used to use it for OTK, especially with Construct, just being able to get rid of your opponent's monsters from battle, which is very, very nice. And it's easy access to App Cologne or any of the Shadoll monsters that you wish to make if you have the right materials to summon it. Next, just 2 one-off spells. I'm playing 1 Terraforming for Meltdown, 1 Model Succession for a extra deck monster. This is a very nice card, especially in this deck, especially with Cross Sheep, especially if you can't get to Aerial. If Construct goes to the grave, and you have Succession in hand, you can just make Cross Sheep with Construct and Grave, activate, summon it out, and then you just get to summon another monster out from the graveyard for free. And for the 1 trap in the deck, you're on 1 Shadoll Incarnation for the combo to make the best board this deck can make. It's a very, very good card. Obviously, you can target one Shadoll monster in your graveyard, special summon it face up or face down. That's if it's set, and then you activate it as an actual trap card. But you can banish it from the grave and change 1 face down monster you control to face up defense position, or 1 face up monster to face down, which is very, very nice. Next, we're on to the extra deck. For the Shadolls, we're running 2 Shadoll Construct, 2 Winder, 1 App Cologne. App Cologne's like if you're really, really desperate, it's like the on-board effect failure. Winder obviously locks your opponent out with special summoning, well, kind of, gives your opponent 1 special summon per turn. Some decks cannot break through a Winder on its own, which is very, very good. Because if they only have 1 special summon, they can't break through the Winder. Obviously, you can use things like evenly match and stuff. But if you just leave your opponent with a Winder, and they don't have an out to it, it's going to be funny when you're just sitting there and they can't beat over it, especially when it's only 20 to attack. And Construct is summoned, you can send any Shadoll card from your deck to the grave, and if when it goes to the grave, you can add any Shadoll spell or trap from your deck, from your graveyard to your hand. Next, for the invoked monsters, we have 2 Mechaba, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Caliga. Purgatrio is always used to the OTK, never summon it on the first turn, because it gains attack points equal to the amount of cards your opponent controls. This is not like once it's summoned it keeps that attack points thing. It's if the amount of cards in your opponent's field drops, it will drop with it, I believe. Mechaba, if a spell trap or monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard 1 card of the same type, monster, spell or trap, as cost, and you can negate and banish it, which is very, very nice. Especially if your opponent needs that monster in the graveyard, you can just literally just get rid of it. It's like a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and stuff like that. Obviously, they can't get it back from the. Oh wait, they have Pisty, but it's if you get rid of the Metal Dragon, I doubt they're going to make the zones to actually get Pisty live. And Caliga gives your opponent 1 monster effect per turn. Obviously, it gives you 1 monster effect per turn as well. And if like paired with Mechaba, if you negate that activation of the effect, Caliga will still say you can't activate any more effects. It's on the attempt of activation is when it's triggered. Well, not triggered, but it's knows what your opponent's trying to do. So if you negate with Mechaba, Caliga will still go, okay, you don't have any more monster effects. And Caliga is also a World Dino Wrestling, where you can only attack with 1 monster. So for Link 1s, I have 1 Almirage. Obviously to link into with Alistair the Invoker. So you can easily get the Mech Knight plays going on, or whatever you need to further your combos. For the Link 2s, I have Cross Sheep, Invoker of Madness, and Mech Knight Morningstar. Because I'm playing the Mech Knights, I thought this would be a nice little addition to the deck. That's why I'm playing World League Succession, because Morningstar can search it out by discarding a Mech Knight monster. Alistair the Invoker of Madness, when a monster is fusion summoned, you can add 1 Invocation or Book of the Law from your deck to your hand, and if it's out of the graveyard via your opponent's card effect, I believe, you can add 1 Omega Summon, which we don't run in the deck, obviously, because it's a trap card. And Cross Sheep, because if a fusion monster is summoned to its zone, you'd special 1 level 4 monster, level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, which is a very, very good effect, especially for the combos that you like to do with this deck. And for the Link 4s, we have 1 Appaloosa and 1 Brawl Sword. Brawl Sword, obviously, for the standard decay, and Appaloosa, usually you're going to make it with 3 materials, but if you're lucky, you're going to make it with 4. That's when you start flexing your opponent, because you're going to make your board a 4 counter Appaloosa, Caliga, Mechaba, and Winder, which can be very devastating for the opponent. Alright, so that is the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I probably will do a combo video on this deck. It's quite similar to something like Team Samurai X's video or something like that. So I was going through and watching loads of little combos that you can do with the deck. But mine actually makes Caliga instead of not making Caliga. So I hope you enjoyed this deck profile, and I'll see you all in the next video.